Jeremy, let's start with Group A. Qatar, the hosts of this World Cup, obviously, are they any good?
They're better than people might expect. They've obviously never been in a World Cup before, so it's a massive, massive thing for them. But they founded something called the Aspire Academy in Qatar in 2003. So they've been developing and training footballers, and they've had quite a settled programme for quite a long time, and they've got an established domestic league as well. So they are a better footballing country than a lot of people might think. They go with more expectation than people might expect, and they don't have players playing in Europe. They're largely, exclusively, I think, domestically based. But they won the Asian Cup in 2019, scored, I think, 19 goals, only conceded one in that competition against some good teams that people will be familiar with in World Cups. So they're not as bad as people might imagine.
You've been over there, Jeremy. What are the expectations like internally in Qatar and among the fans?
It was very clear that the definition of success was qualification through the group, and they felt like that was feasible. It wasn't, we're just happy to be here. It was, we can reach the knockout phase.
Yeah, always dangerous to write off a host nation, isn't it? The Netherlands are the giants of this group, Jeremy. Louis van Gaal back with them once again. Has he done a good job this time?
He came in after the Euros because they had a bad Euros under De Boer last summer. So he's only been back for just over a year, I should say. I'm getting my calendars mixed up in my brain because of the unusual timing of the World Cup. 71 now, so I think a lot of people from the Premier League will be interested to see him, but they're unbeaten in 15 games, won 11, drawn 4. So looking pretty good under him, and he obviously, it's his third stint and took them to the semi-finals in Brazil, 2014, lost to Argentina, I think, on penalties, if my memory serves me correctly, in the semi-finals. So he's got that, obviously, Van Gaal's got that huge experience and pedigree, but not quite full of attacking stars that he had in that Brazil World Cup.
What about Senegal, Jeremy? Are they the best chance that the continent of Africa has for a winner of this tournament?
That conventional wisdom is that they won the African Cup of Nations in February. They've consistently been the best African team for a couple of years. Quite stable, the manager there's been there. Cisse was manager there at the previous World Cup as well. But Russia was notable for how the African teams didn't do as well as perhaps people thought, and that breakthrough hasn't quite happened. We know lots about Sadio Mane. He's had a decent season so far at Bayern Munich. I think he's sort of going along a goal every 2 games, something like that, playing regularly. So yes, they're the best hope in theory, although I still feel like the African teams are not quite at the level still of the European and South Americans. So I think maybe getting past the group last 16, maybe a quarter-final for a team like Senegal, but it's hard to see them in the sort of final shake-up.
Tite, the Brazil manager, said that he thought Ecuador were the best shouts for a dark horse in this tournament. What are their strengths?
And they've got a new coach, a new Argentinian coach came in recently, and he's played the young players. They've also got a bit of experience because Enner Valencia, that we know very well, West Ham and Everton fans will know him very well. And Caicedo at Brighton has been excellent, and he's only 20 and he's already played 25 games, and there's a group of players around that age that have played quite a lot together. So certainly the feeling in South America is that they could do pretty well, but I don't think they're sort of serious contenders. I think it's the most finely balanced of the groups because I think you can make a good case for all 4 teams, but I'll go Netherlands and Senegal, slightly go for the obvious choice, but Qatar, I wouldn't be surprised if they made it through.